everybody. I am Lauren Cohen. Did you know that over 50% of visa applicants are denied when they go to the border, but 100% of our visa applicants are approved? Wouldn't you like to improve your chances by working with us? Hi, I'm Lauren Cohen from Investing Across Borders, and I'm really excited to be here today because we have a brand new slideshow to present to you, created by our amazing team. And thank you so much. Everybody was literally up until the 11th hour to change these slides and adjust them for you so that we're ready to go, because we are working with an amazing new sales team, and I think Cindy is here. And they're really just taking an active role in helping us to roll out some of our exciting plans for the winter and the fall and the spring and all of those fun seasons that we tend to miss out on here in Florida. But I am not complaining, and let me tell you something, in November and December and January, I will not be complaining. My son's bar mitzvah is in November and it's outside, and I would not be doing that in Toronto. No chance. And we're just praying that we don't need AC because it is outside. So that's a funny thing. You don't hear that in Toronto either, do you? So we're going to do a little bit of interaction, and I just wanted to let you know that we will take questions, but some of them we will have to defer for either a consult with me or for the Q&A call that we're going to have an invite to join at the end of this call. Okay, so I am going to start my slides in the lesson. So once again, everybody, I'm Lauren Cohen from Investing Across Borders, where we teach you how to invest painlessly across borders, achieve visas, and use real estate as a path to immigrate. I'm super excited to present these brand new slides to you. So I'm going to go ahead and get started without further ado. If you guys have questions, stick them in the chat, please, and my team will answer as many as possible. And we will have a little bit of Q&A at the end, but as I mentioned, you know, I am a lawyer, so I have to be super careful, and I can't give specific advice during this call, but we'll try to answer as many general questions as we can, and hopefully we'll answer a lot of them just in the presentation. So today we're here to discuss how to start your journey to successful cross-border investment in immigration. And we're going to highlight how you can use real estate as a path to a visa. Our signature program is called How to Immigrate Through Real Estate. And to be candid, that's actually what put us on the map. It changed us from being one of the providers to kind of the provider, because that's what everybody, well, a lot of our clients want to do, and we have found a way to do it. Disclaimer, of course, as a lawyer, I want to disclaim that our work product is wholly dependent on the quality and quantity of information and documentation we receive. None of this is legal advice. If you want legal or other professional advice, we have teams of professionals that will help you, but you do need to go through the process of setting up a formal consultation. So this is not legal advice. Please do not rely on it as such. During our masterclass, we will just be discussing some key mistakes, some risks, and some recommendation in terms of ways to avoid potential problems and achieve your goals when it comes to investing and immigrating to the US. Have your cameras on, please. We will be kind of going back and forth to screen share and out of screen share, and ask questions. As I mentioned, some of them we can answer, some of them we can't, but we'll try our best to answer as many as possible, and take notes so that you don't forget, because there's a lot of information that we will be sharing. So who am I? Hi, everybody. I'm Lauren Cohen. I'm a cross-border attorney and expert. I'm a licensed realtor, and I'm the chair of the International Investment Committee for eXp Commercial. I'm an immigration concierge and quarterback, and you'll learn through these slides what the heck that means, because it doesn't mean what you think it means. I'm a best-selling author. You can see my book behind me, Finding Your Silver Lining in the Business Immigration Process. And in just a few minutes, you'll know why the book is called that. And you'll be like, really? That happened to you? Yep, you can't make this stuff up. Franchise broker, I do work with a lot of franchise investors, featured in multiple mediums internationally. I've spoken literally all over the world as a keynote and as a panelist and just in general. I'm an activist and philanthropist. I just met this morning with one of my colleagues here we're very involved in various charities together. And I'm a single mom to an almost teenager. Yep, 2 months, less than 2 months to his bar mitzvah, but who's counting, right? And 2 dogs, both of whom are home with me today. So if you hear barking, not much I can do, right? My story. So I wanted to pursue my American dream. I was living in Toronto and I had a comfortable life, but it wasn't enough. I hated the winter. I hated shoveling snow. I really just wasn't satisfied, and I wanted something more. I wanted to have a greater impact. I wanted to pave the path to a more secure future for myself and eventually my family. And I wanted access to a broader economy with more opportunity and live in the sunshine all year round. Although it does rain almost every day, like we get rained out for our for baseball. Like last night we were rained out as we were driving to baseball, but it is what it is, and I don't have to deal with the snow. That's for sure. That's just never going to happen. Thank goodness. And Miri will attest to that, because we definitely had. If we saw snow here, I think they give you everybody money or something. I dreamed of moving to the US in pursuit of personal and professional happiness, freedom, and success. At first, it was smooth sailing until it wasn't. And on our return trip from our honeymoon, my then husband was detained, expeditiously removed, and held in immigration jail, subsequently deported. So here's me sitting at the Chicago O'Hare Airport, and they're like, he's not coming with you. And I'm like, what are you talking about? And so they took him away and sent me back to Florida. And he ended up flying back to Thailand, which is where we were on our honeymoon. God only knows why he even suggested going to Thailand, because he should never have left the country. But I didn't know that at the time. I didn't know much about this at all. I just knew that I was in the process of getting my green card, and I was relying on others. Not the smartest path for a smart lawyer to pursue. So I decided at that time, when this all happened, not immediately, but that I needed to change the trajectory for others. So instead of allowing you to lose precious money, time, and peace, I will help you find a way, just like I found a way for me. So where am I now? I live in sunny South Florida. I have a 7-figure business. I have secured my assets, and I've achieved location and financial freedom. And that's the number one goal, I think, for all of us here, is to achieve that financial and location freedom so that you can be anywhere in the world. And we were just talking about this again with my friend who's in philanthropy with me this morning. I said I was away for 2 months this summer, and we didn't miss a beat, did we, Miri? Like really, and Miri had a baby also in the summer. Not that that's like not a life-changing event, but she also has 2 other children, and we just kept on going because that's what we do as us entrepreneurs. But we have the beautiful freedom that not a lot of people have when they have to go to a 9-to-5. So here are some pictures of some of our success stories and our colleagues and partners. Some of you will know a lot of these people. Jay and Corey Fassett, I helped them obtain an E1 treaty trader visa, which is where it's not the focus of our presentation, but that might be available if you're a speaker, if you're an author, if you're an influencer. That's an opportunity to get a visa. Jill Lublin, a publicity expert who I know through CEO Space. Randall Miles, who is the chairman of EXP World Holdings. Michael Saracini, I bet you guys all know him. He's one of the co-founders of Keyspire, the huge investor portal, real estate investor portal. Michael Gerber, if you don't know this guy, you should. He was kind of one of the original 6, like original 6 NHL, right? See, I am from Canada, it's true. One of the original 6 of entrepreneurs. And he kind of started this whole trend of writing entrepreneurial books, the E-Myth Revisited, the E-Myth for lawyers, the E-Myth for real estate investors, the E-Myth for accountants, you name it, there's a book for it. And Michael Gerber is an awesome trainer and teacher, and he's got quite the life story. Carolyn Graham, a wonderful real estate investor turned franchise owner from Southwestern Ontario. She was one of our first full service clients. Imana Guy, also a very heavy duty influencer, a big player in the space, and helps people to create joint venture relationships. Mel Robbins, if you guys don't know her, again, you need to. She wrote a little book called The 5-Second Rule, which is all about stopping and thinking before you say things. And she really she came from corporate America, and she inspires women and men all over the world. Larry Feldman, the founder of Subway, a great colleague of mine. I know him through my philanthropic activities. Mike Wolf, one of the most successful real estate investors in Canada, through whom I met this lovely lady, Carolyn, whose name is spelled wrong on this slide, guys, just letting you know. I met Carolyn through Mike Wolf during COVID, and Carolyn and I are now partners in the business that we'll be presenting to you shortly. So thank you all for being here again. So here are just some of our successful stories. Who is Doug Ford? Well, some of you might know him. He is an amazing realtor from the Hamilton, Ontario area. And he wasn't really sure what to do, but he knew he wanted a visa. He wanted out of Canada, no matter what he had to do to make it happen. And we helped him fine-tune his business model, and the whole process. Lauren was very patient and understanding and wasn't trying to push me to put a square peg in a round hole. She guided us with care and consideration at every turn. It was a very enjoyable experience. We love hearing this. Our clients are literally our lives. They are the raison d'etre. Don't make fun of the French accent. That we do things, we don't just take on clients because they're a number. We take on clients because we care and we want them to have a positive outcome, and that's why we probably have that 100% success rate.
Lauren, before we go on to Cesar,
Yes.
we have to also mention that not everything, for example, with Doug, we run into an issue, but I think what he's saying that we weren't trying to fit things, into a square peg in a round hole. It's because of that, because there was an issue that came up, because there could be things that happen with the business that he selected, right? And we weren't pushing him to do anything that wasn't going to be his calling, right? So that's important to know, we're here to help our clients, like you're going to see in the next few slides about, it's not about pushing you to do something that is not going to be your calling, and finding a way so that it would sink in correctly, hand in hand with the visa. So I think it's important to mention that in case people were wondering what that meant.
Thank you. Well, there's another client who said the same thing when we did our follow-up in our post-visa process, which, by the way, Mary, we need to do with de jure. Just a reminder. I thought of that this morning, and there's always activity going on here. So some people come to us and think they want to do X, and then they end up doing something completely different than what they originally planned. And it's really, that's the key, is that we're going to work with you to figure out what makes sense for you. If you're a 55-year-old person, you're not going to want to go into a pool service business, because that's not an easy business at any age. But at 55, doesn't sound like something I'd want to go into, that's for sure. So anyway, Cesar did not want to go into a pool service business, but he came to us and he really didn't know what he wanted to do. So this was before we had strategic REI, which we'll talk to you about, and before we were so focused on real estate as the path to immigrate, and we helped him invest in a property management franchise. And as Cesar said, he had a lot of ups and downs before we met. They had worked with many other immigration lawyers. The process is long and stalled out. And when we met Lauren, she took us by the hands and guided us through the journey so that there was peace. And actually, my earlier slogan was peace of mind for your business in my past iteration of my business. I'm so grateful to Lauren and her team, and Cesar and his lovely wife, Adriana, live down here in South Florida and are in the third year of their first E2 visa. When I say first, that means initial, and then after that happens, there's a renewal. So you can renew your E2 as many times as you want. So this is Mike Wolf. This was our recent event that Carolyn and I co-hosted in Calgary, and Mike is from Calgary originally, although he's definitely not there in the winter. He's a smart guy. Mike's favorite line is, Lauren Cohen is my secret weapon. So I just had to share that with you, and I just adore this gentleman. Who tried to steal my dog at one point, but that's another story. Denise Evans, a real estate investor who did not pursue a visa yet, but she actually, one of her things is that she called me when I was in Israel on this women's trip in November. And I guess it was like 11 p.m. there and 4 p.m. here. And she lives in like outside of London or outside of Hamilton. I can't really remember exactly. And she called me and she said, "You're answering the phone in Israel?" I go, "I answer the phone for my clients all the time." And she's like, "What time is it there?" 11. Oh, and she was in this complete panic because there was a problem with the closing of this property that they bought, their first property. And as she said, "You handled the issue with ease and reassured us throughout the process. Your personal hands-on approach is very much appreciated. And our next stop is to investigate U.S. visa options for herself and her kids." One of her kids is married to an American, so he's already in the U.S. Beware, when investing in the U.S., challenges are closer than they appear, and they can be avoided. with the right team, right? But without the right team, you're going to hit a lot of walls. And people come to us every single day. They go to immigration lawyers, they go to immigration consultants, then they come to us and say, why am I not in the visa process? Why is this happening? Why have I not heard from my lawyer? Why are they not contacting me? Well, there's a reason. We're not sure what it is. The process can and often does seem overwhelming, and it is. The process of investing across borders isn't just about moving money. It's about navigating a maze of complex legal and other regulations, understanding diverse market dynamics, and adapting to cultural nuances. Even if the language is the same, let me tell you that business in Canada and the US is not the same. Doing business is very different, and you have to adjust. And people think it's one size fits all. And Jonah can tell you this. He's actually an American and Canadian lawyer. He's in the Vancouver area. And Jonah, I'm sure you see this every day working with cross-border clients, right? They think it's the same, and it's so different. And if you don't pay attention to the differences, you're going to end up needing a lawyer for a lot more than setting up your structure and making sure you're properly guided, right? So thank you. Each step in the process carries its own set of challenges and questions. And if you don't have the right guidance or the right people guiding you, the right team guiding you, you will end up hitting those walls or backing into something because you're not looking in your rearview mirror. Imagine trying to piece together a jigsaw puzzle without having the picture on the box as a guide. Another example is, and we can all identify with this, when we're traveling somewhere, do we do that without a GPS? Do we just kind of go? I mean, I know in the old days we had these physical maps, but now we have GPS, whether it's on our cars or on our phones or both, and sometimes on Waze or whatever. And at the end of the day, we are very dependent on that GPS because it's going to steer us in the right direction and the fastest way of getting there without 25 million detours, right? Wrong team choices, such a common issue. Not even realizing that you need a team that is working collaboratively, holistically, and like together. I just forgot the word, but a team that is harmonized, a harmonized team that knows what the other parties are doing. Because at the end of the day, the last thing you want to do is to build this out and not have X speaking to Y and A speaking to B, because you're going to end up doing the wrong thing. Trying to save money might and does lead to costly mistakes like double taxation. Our team is definitely the right team for you. We're actually the only full service team that I know of in the industry. Waiting for the perfect time can and does lead to missed opportunities. Market conditions shift, interest rates fluctuate, and new opportunities emerge while old ones fade. The perfect time is always now, so let's do this. I mean, I can give you a perfect example. I'm personally I was in the market for a home, and I sold my home a year ago, and I've been looking ever since. And it's not been easy because I'm in Boca Raton, and it's for myself. It's not an investment property. So I just went under contract and actually finalized the contract today. I have to send the second wire so I'm going forward. And I was trying to wait for the perfect time because the market is challenging and the interest rates are high. But the perfect time for me was get out of renting and get into a home. So that I just found the perfect home for me at the perfect time for me. And that's what we're going to do with and for you. Let our experts guide you in choosing the perfect time for you to achieve your goals. And remember, it's a little different than being emotionally attached to the property that you're going to live in when you're actually doing an investment, right? Because you're not emotionally attached to that. You're just financially attached. And here comes our financial concerns. Cross-border investments invariably invite many financial concerns, ranging from local tax laws to currency considerations and currency exchange. We have an issue with that constantly with Canadian. But don't worry, we have a solution. We have solutions. We're not going to find money, but we do have solutions for pretty much everything that could and does plague you, including a currency exchange partner, including access to financing. With the right guidance, your risk of financial losses will not only be minimized, but you will actually find a way to make capital work in your favor. That's what we'll do with you. Now we come to choosing the right business, because it's not only about buying a business so you can get a visa, but it's about buying the right business so you can be financially secure and be able to renew or change your visa in the future. And our holistic team will help you with everything, including making that business choice. Choosing the right business will pave your path to success. Now, at the end of the day, if you don't choose the right business, you're going to not be able to renew your visa. You may get your first visa. Some people come and say, I don't care what I'm going to do. I don't care what business I buy. I just want a visa. And we have to figure out what that actually looks like, because that's not actually true. It's what you might think because you're so desperate to get out of wherever you are. But at the end of the day, you have to run this business and you have to make it be successful, because if you're not passionate about it, what's the point? Right? And that's why we work with so many real estate investors, because most real estate investors are pretty impassioned about what they do. Crafting your legacy. Investing in a business can be your ticket to lasting success. However, diving headfirst without a plan or undercapitalizing your venture can sink your ship before it sails. But with the right business choice, you too can craft your legacy. Business expansion. Got a business that's successful elsewhere? Let's figure out how to expand it into the US. And actually, that visa could even lead to a green card. Isn't that amazing? Yes, yes, yes. Expanding across borders will help you scale new heights. Fragmented services will always lead to disaster. Instead of hiring a single construction company to build a house, for example, you'll hire a bunch of freelancers who, again, are not working harmonized or not working collaboratively, and you end up having a roof that doesn't fit on the house or walls that aren't secure and so on and so forth. This is a recipe, as I mentioned, for disaster due to miscommunication and less than stellar results. Fragmented services do, not just can, do lead to costly mistakes. Investing across borders' unified approach ensures that you are accessing a holistic, cohesive team that communicates, that collaborates, and ensures that every piece of the puzzle fits perfectly and that the end result is truly top-notch. So here's our fun part. How can real estate investing lead to a visa? And how can our team help you achieve this? Real estate is really the golden path. Real estate in the US isn't just about buying property. It's about creating the right investment strategy and business plan. Even if you don't want a visa, you still need a business plan, especially when a visa is the end goal. Invest in real estate and achieve your American dream with our amazing team. Adele Gigiosio, some of you might know her. Adele and I became friends after she became a client. I actually stayed with Adele at the Keyspire event in Niagara Falls in October. Yes, I will come to Canada in October. December? Oh, I'm thinking about it. But anyway, Adele's words, you were key in getting us here. The expression, it takes a village, is true in many areas of life, including real estate investing. You and your team were our village, taking care of us every step of the way, making sure that everyone was executing. You brought all the pieces together of the complex puzzle without missing a beat. I adore this woman. We speak probably, I don't know, every couple of days for sure about what's going on. Adele will probably never get a visa because somehow or other she loves the winter in Montreal. You know, to each their own. I am just not a winter person. So here's our ideal option. Carolyn, you ready to say hi? Our ideal option is strategic REI. So we basically found that we had so many real estate investors that we needed to come up with a solution that was custom built for these real estate investors that allowed them to achieve a visa without having to own multiples of properties. So if you, and we'll talk a little about this, if you were to do a visa through real estate investing as purely through real estate investing, you would need 8 to 10 doors at least. And that's just a starting point, because then we have to look at the ROI, make sure it's not marginal, and check if you're going to hire enough people and why do you need to hire them and is there an economic impact. So we created this little business in a box. Little, it's not so little, it's kind of big because it's been very successful. And this business in a box includes all of these items: business setup, real estate investing, getting started and moving ahead. And the key number one feature of that is one-on-one coaching with my amazing partner, Carolyn, who's going to say hi in just a minute. And strategic business planning. So Carolyn works with our clients one-on-one to build a business plan that is visa friendly, with me being involved literally every step of the way, being there to give feedback, give advice, give suggestion, and make sure that our clients are going through the process properly. We help you with systems, CRM, deal analysis, training, and even hiring your first person. And the key is that we help you move through your first transaction so that by the time that you apply for the visa, you'll have at least one, if not two, properties in your portfolio that fit your model. Now, not every model works, but we're going to help you to fine-tune your model to make it fit. That's our goal. So what is SREI and why is it the best option? Well, I mentioned to you that it's because it replaces your need for 8 or 10 doors, which is very costly and takes a long time. And it could prevent you from actually getting your visa in the year that you're planning. SREI is not passive, it's active because it's a business in a box. You build your real estate under that. And the beautiful thing is that your visa is not dependent on your real estate portfolio. So if you buy and sell property, you don't have to report it to the government because the visa is not based on your real estate investing alone. So if it were, you would have to report any material change. So let's say you own 8 or 10 doors. If you sell any of those doors, you'd have to report it because it's a material change. Well, here, the business in a box because is your business. It's kind of like a franchise. But I call it the unfranchised whenever we're speaking to a prospective client. And it is the unfranchised because the only thing that is cookie cutter is the way that we set up our entities. Carolyn, can you say hi for a second?
Absolutely. Yes, this is, as Lauren was saying, the beautiful thing about this model is that it is custom made for each of our clients. Goals, especially in real estate with regards to the type of portfolio that they want to build, the type of business that they want to build. And for me, this has actually been one of the most exciting ventures, I guess you could say, that I've been part of, because prior to starting this, and prior to starting with Lauren, I was, I had my own coaching platform and teaching people and having, one-on-one students. But when we started doing the SREI with our clients, even though I'm doing, one-on-one calls every week, it truly is, like Lauren said at the beginning, it's a process where we are 100% just as invested as the clients to make sure that they're successful, but ultimately to make sure that this business fits what they're passionate about. So many times our clients show up with kind of like this big picture vision of, I want to do real estate and get my visa. And that's kind of the most that they know, or they have a little bit of idea, like I want to do short-term rentals or I want to do multifamilies. But as we start to work together, what I love in this process is we get to witness the transformation in a very short period of time, where they get such zoomed in clarity of, okay, this is what my business is going to look like. This is how we've planned it out for the next 5 years. And they get very excited to watch that become reality. So it has been truly one of the more exciting projects that I get to be part of. So I'm really grateful for Lauren and the clients and all of the team, because like Lauren said, the beautiful thing about this is we work so hand in hand that any questions that come up, whether it's like business structure related, whether it's legal related in terms of, what's going to be required for the visa and the real estate, we all coordinate, collaborate, and work together to ensure that it comes together exactly how they need it for their visa purposes and to make their business a success. So it is really fun. And like I said, I really love working with our clients.
So I'll share a little story with you. So Carolyn and I met over Zoom during COVID through Mike Wolf, as I mentioned. And then she came to Florida for an event, like right as COVID was kind of at the tail end of COVID, when Florida was open, but most of Canada was still closed. She came and we met and we hung out, and she stayed over one of the nights that she was in town. And then she came back a couple months later and she stayed with me for a couple of nights. And this is when we actually developed on our remarkable pads. And if you don't know what a remarkable pad is, you need to know. we both had these remarkable pads, and we just stayed up one night. I don't even know till what time, kind of building this business, and it's kind of morphed and taken a life of its own. And I was just, like I said, in Calgary, and we went to a spa. This is kind of funny. So, and I didn't know that Carolyn was as much of a workaholic as me. I knew that she liked working, but I really had no idea how bad it was until we were at the spa, and we literally had to pull each other to go to the spa because we were both working. And it was kind of pathetic, but kind of funny at the same time. Because I'm like, no, we have to put our phones and our iPads away. And we have to go to the spa because we paid to come to the spa. And we drove to the spa. And it was very, very funny. So she is truly a woman after my own heart. And I'm very blessed to have her in my life. So thank you. So Rodrigo and Luciana, I'm going to call on you. I sent you a private message. I hope it's okay. Can you guys say hi? Are you there? These are not shy people.
Hello, everyone.
Hi.
Hi.
Hi there. How are you? Oh, now they're outside. Oh, it's not that cold there. So Rodrigo and Luciana,
Yes.
I'm going to put you on the spot because I know you can handle it. So this lovely couple came to me originally, I don't know, about 6 months ago, I want to say, maybe more. And they were very apprehensive, right? You were like, what is this about? I don't understand. Like, just the, they're very analytical. Very, very, like, they like to make sure that every I is dotted and T is crossed, and they just weren't understanding the big picture. And they signed up with us when Carolyn and I were in Kananaskis at the spa that we were supposed to be at.
Yeah.
At the spa. And they signed up with us, and it has been a very fun journey, I think. And I'd love for you guys to just say hi. Are you riding your bikes or are you walking? You're walking.
No, we are walking. It's maybe 22 Celsius.
Nice.
It's lunchtime
that's
here.
nice.
Yeah, it's
Very
lunchtime, and we are, avoiding the snow. So yeah. So
you want to just tell us about your journey so far? We're
absolutely,
in the process.
absolutely.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Well, I'm not a risk taker, Luciana either, but so far, we are in love with the program. So we enrolled to the SREI, and we are still amazed, and we are learning every day. So we are doing our homework. It's easier than I thought. Let's put it that way. But it's easier
with the right people.
That's exactly. So I would say that it's easier because we have the right team, the right person. And Caroline is amazing.
Yeah, so we are seeing Caroline every 2 weeks through Zoom. We already spoken with a lawyer, cross-border lawyer and accountant to set up our business, the structure of our business, and everything is going well. Yeah, we recommend you, Lauren.
Thank you. Thank you. I did not tell them. I asked them I didn't know they were going to be here. So I asked them, do you mind if I put you on the spot? But they didn't answer because they're out walking, and I put them on the spot anyway. So there you go. But, the beautiful thing is that when I was doing my cross Canada tour in August, that was the first time we met. Is that right?
It was when you came to Ottawa from Toronto. You were extremely stressed out because of the airport.
That was not a good day that day. Well, my goodness. But then we got to hang out at the pool right before I left.
Yeah.
Yes.
And that was a lot of fun. So yeah. And anyway, they are part of my real estate investing world. I know them through Wealth Genius, I think, or something along those lines. And we became fast friends. And it's truly a pleasure because they're like family. And so that I just want thank you. Thank you for stepping up and not being like, oh my gosh, because I knew they're not shy. So thank you. All right. So
we thank you very much.
Lovely lady, thank you. Our pleasure. This lovely lady, Heather Dimmick, also was very apprehensive when she first came to us. So she was like, I don't know if I need you. I don't know what the deal is. What are you selling me? I don't know. And first she wanted a franchise, but she was a very significant real estate investor in Alberta. And this was Heather was our second SREI client. So it was really while we were kind of morphing the business, and she took a risk because we were still feeling our way. She took a risk, and she was an amazing, amazing client. She had, how many, Carolyn, 100 and more than 100 doors that she sold because she
Yeah,
wanted to get
200.
out of, oh my goodness, out
Mhm.
of Canada. And she's in the Sarasota area, and she's just happier than, she's going to be much happier in a couple of months when it starts getting cold up north. And I had the opportunity to meet her. She came to Boca when one of the hurricanes was happening up that way last September, I think. And she's just a lovely, lovely person. And we really helped her to fine tune what she wanted to do, put her into our SREI model, helped her to build a business plan. And I remember it 2 days or 3 days before her interview, she went into a panic. And she was literally calling me at all hours. And it was my total pleasure to help her and navigate her way through her interview, which was all of 5 minutes. And when she got that visa, literally her life changed. And now I can barely reach her. No, I'm just kidding. But she is extremely, extremely busy. I'm actually going to see her at the, what do you call that thing? Bigger Pockets event in Orlando in October. Hopefully I'll make it because I am closing on a house. And I'm actually on my way to Orlando tomorrow also. So if anybody's in Orlando, let me know. But Heather's a lovely, lovely client. And if any of you want to speak to her about the opportunity, she's happy to speak to you. She really knows her stuff and is some people think, oh, this is not for me. I don't have a portfolio. And then other people think it's not for me. I have a huge portfolio. I know exactly what I'm doing. Listen, it's for you if you're the right candidate and there's a fit. Okay. And I forgot to mention in my prior slide, which I did put on the slide, it's by invitation only. So it's not, when we first started, we did a big launch event, and I think we had like 100 people that set up calls with us. And only 4 of them were actually invited to be part of our world. And it's really a very high-end, top-tier, customized, very, very selective approach because we work so closely with you. So you have to be committed and an action taker. And if you're not an action taker, it's not going to be a fit because Carolyn will probably bang her head against the wall, and definitely I will. So she's much more patient than me. This is what actually launched our whole how to immigrate through real estate, 10 steps to immigrate through real estate. Now, don't be overwhelmed by this slide. It's got all the 10 steps and some of the details of all the 10 steps. And by the way, if you do want to pursue SREI, the investment is around $300,000. Now, what does that mean? Well, for the business and our services, you're looking at about 110 to 115. Okay, so that's all of the business side of it. And then we like to leave the balance of that so that you can invest in your first property or two, because most Canadians need about 30% as a down payment. Okay, so this way you've got everything covered. You have you have a little bit of a cushion, so you're not going to be struggling. We did just recently have a client come in that was a little shy on the budget, but they are going through the visa process literally right now, and we are thrilled to have made such an impact on their lives. There are other options, of course, besides real estate. We don't just work with real estate investors, although that happens to be our sweet spot for sure. You could pursue a visa through a franchise. You could buy an existing business. You could set up or purchase a new business, or you could expand your existing business to the US. There are so many options to consider, but at the end of the day, the key is that we will help you find your best path. And if we think that you're going in the wrong direction, we will move you into the right direction or guide you, with our gentle pushing. I'm not that gentle, but I like I said, the pool business just did not seem like the right fit for this gentleman. I couldn't pull him away, so we couldn't work together because I can't in good conscience put somebody in a business that I don't feel is going to work for them. And at the end of the day, it all really depends on you and your choices. You can do it alone, or you can do it with our guidance. You can choose constant challenges or peace of mind, financial frustration or financial freedom, living on a beach or near a beach. We're going to do my son's bar mitzvah pictures at the beach, and it's only like 5 minutes from my new house, 10 minutes from my current house. Overwhelming options. There are so many options. Like I said, you could invest in a business, you could invest in real estate, but we will help you with a guided investment structure so that you are poised for success and quick visa approval. Shoveling snow or sunny beaches. Okay, that's a no-brainer for me. If you want to shovel snow, we can help you get to a place where you can shovel snow too, but you'll still be able to run your business in the US and access all of the other benefits of our huge marketplace, amazing real estate opportunities, and so on. You can choose a path fraught with struggles, which a lot of us do, or a done-for-you path. Obviously, it's not fully done for you because you're the one that has to run the business, but it's pretty much done for you. A life-controlling business or a lifestyle freedom business. Again, no contest there. And the freedom is always going to come with real estate investing, which is why I see that little house with the key. You can choose a perpetual 9-to-5 or to be your own boss. Again, no choice there for me. I couldn't imagine I really could not imagine having to report to a job every day. I don't know what I would do. So what are some of the key benefits of working with our team? You establish a secure structure and business model, ensure that the multifaceted process is much smoother and more streamlined, and you'll protect your investment by approaching it from a calculated risk perspective so that you'll have peace of mind for your future. You might be wondering, well, if I hire a lawyer and a business plan writer, what more do I need? I can figure it out by myself, right? No, no, no. If you choose this path, you will end up missing out on so many benefits, such as knowing the difference between a traditional business plan and a visa business plan, not having a single point of contact, no one holding your hand, not having access to a WhatsApp group, which we create for every single one of our clients, not having access to us at all times, pretty much. Obviously we do sleep sometimes, and no assistance in avoiding the potentially fatal mistakes that so many people make that interrupt their path and to their investment in immigration dreams. And guess what? You'll just be a number. You may be in the queue for attention and responses. I hear this all the time, and you'll be in the same place next year and super frustrated in the process. I don't want that to be you. Our 100% success rate speaks for itself, and it's true. I'm not making this up. We've never had a denial. It's true, sometimes there are requests for evidence because maybe they forgot a tax return, but we plan to keep our 100% success rate intact. And that's why we are so selective about our clients, because we don't want to have to say, oh my gosh, our 100% success rate was interrupted. We want to help you to be successful. We'll work together to present the best visa application for you and your situation, and make sure that every I is dotted and T is crossed, and you'll be a priority, not just a number. So what's the best visa for you? Well, too many people overlook the importance of securing a visa. They don't realize how valuable it can be. It can help you access so many things, which we'll talk about in just a moment. For example, you'll access benefits for yourself, your family, and your business. You'll have access to Small Business Association loans, for example, which is not actually listed in here. And I just remembered we need to add that. Obtain a social security number so you can live and work in the US. Build credit and access financing. Freedom to go back and forth across borders freely. Run your business from anywhere in the world. And that's a beautiful thing. Having a visa does not mandate that you have to live in the US. It just mandates that you have to be directing and managing your enterprise. You can send your kids to school and your spouse can work. Sometimes this is great if there's a spouse that wants to be a realtor, for example. The spouse of the visa holder can get their real estate license and work with buyers, sellers, and investors. Spousal derivative visas are sometimes better than actual visas themselves. You'll be able to build your business and invest freely. You'll be able to establish strategic relationships, avoid paying high taxes, potentially build a business and access an eventual green card, and benefit from 1031 exchange. Now, I didn't mention 1031, but I'm sure a lot of you that are real estate investors know what it is. Basically, you are transferring, you own an investment property, you buy a new investment property you identify it within a certain time period, and you close within 180 days, and then you move your capital gain, you defer your capital gain because you've moved the money into a new investment property. Now, anybody can potentially apply or access this, but as soon as you bring the money back to Canada, it's discounted. And, Joan is a tax lawyer. I don't deal with taxes, so he can help you figure out what the heck that means from a tax perspective. But at the end of the day, you can access 1031 with an E2, and you can also, as I mentioned, access small business administration loans. So what does this mean? Guys, please make sure we add this to the slides. What this means is during COVID, for example, some of you might have heard there was a lot of money available to American companies. I know that there was a lot available to Canadian companies as well, but it was not available if you didn't have some type of visa and structure in place to allow you to be living and working in the US legally. So that's an important benefit because SBA funding can help you expand your business, buy a new business, buy a franchise, and all kinds of other stuff, and access funding in the event of COVID. So one moment, and I'm going to take a break. This slide is going to overwhelm you because it talks about the main business visas that we handle. O1, which is kind of like an extraordinary ability. It's for actors and athletes and singers and all kinds of like actors and stuff like that. And you have to qualify in a certain number of categories, and then you get a green card because of your special ability. L1 is an intercompany transfer of a senior executive or manager. So for people that have successful businesses with multiple employees in Canada, you can apply for an L1 and set up a similar business with multiple employees in the US, and that's an intercompany transfer of a senior executive or manager. Qualify, you have to have been in that position for one of the past 3 years. I'm going to talk about E2 in a minute. E1 is treaty trader, which means that you're trading a significant amount between Canada or between the US and your home country. Not everybody's from Canada. EB1A it does lead to a green card. That is an extraordinary ability visa, which means that you have to meet certain criteria, and 7 of 10, I think. And if you meet them, you can qualify. EB1C is a multinational executive or manager, which we can do after we get you an E2, but again, super confusing, right? Are you confused? Like alphabet soup. And EB5 is the big green card one, where it's a green card through investment. That's actually where I know Bruno from, because we did a lot of EB5. We still do EB5. It's a green card through investment, where you have to create a certain number of jobs, whether directly or indirectly, and you get a green card. And now my favorite visa of all, the E2. In my book, I call it the coveted visa because everybody wants one. It's based on treaty between the US and the investor's home country. The business must be at least 50% owned by a treaty country national. That doesn't mean that the owner has to be the applicant, okay, just so you know. And you must prove a substantial investment, which is not delineated yet. And I'll mention what that means in a moment. A non-marginal business, meaning that you're having an economic impact beyond just you and your family, and you're making a difference in the world in some way, and that it's not, the numbers are going to support more than just you and your family and in a couple of employees. It's a 5-year renewable visa. It can be renewed indefinitely as long as you continue to qualify, but it is not a direct path to a green card. There are ways to work around that or increase your investment. What are some of the other key business visas? I mentioned the E1, I mentioned the L1, I mentioned EB5. There are others as well. And a lot of people come to us asking about work visas. You know, there are lots of issues around work visas. I'm just going to choose to leave that for our meetings, because at the end of the day, the alphabet soup becomes intense. Successful stories. Who is Camila Quesada? I'm sure I'm saying that wrong, Miri, right? Quesada. How do you say it?
Quesada. Close.
Okay. See, Miri is originally from Mexico, just so you know. Camila is originally from Chile, and she is in the process of obtaining her green card, and so are many of her family members and other families that they brought along through an EB5 investment, where they are passively invested in a business and are just waiting for the final stages of their conditional green cards to come through. I really recommend working with Lauren, without a doubt. She's amazing. She's truly a gift because she's very focused on her clients and she cares deeply. And it's really true. I do. So what is your next step? Well, we have a special promotion that we created just for this meeting today for $197, which is usually the cost just of a consultation. You not only get access to a Q&A call, which we have this coming Tuesday with me, you'll also get our signature course and a strategy call with our team, not me, our team, to talk about your options and what path you might want to pursue. So this opportunity is going to be available until Tuesday of next week, which is the 6th. Is it the 26th?
Yes, the 26th.
Okay. Tuesday the 26th, and Mary and our team will be sending out emails. But if you want to take advantage, there is a link below. And I would suggest doing so because our calendar is going to fill up and we only allow a certain number of people into the Q&A session. And I will be there to answer your specific questions as much as I possibly can without giving legal advice. So it's like, what is it? Do not pass go. Oh, go directly to jail, do not pass go. So we go directly to the results, but we don't give legal advice. And that's going to be on Tuesday, and we may have a second one if there's enough demand. And again, our signature course, which usually on its own is $497, and the Q&A calls are usually $97. So here you're getting that whole package for just $197. So I would strongly recommend that you take advantage, because what will happen if you don't is that you'll end up in the same place next year as you are now. You could end up being denied entry to the US. You may be stuck in Canada or wherever all winter long. You may face mask mandates, which I hear are coming back. And you may not be able to get a visa because there's talk of quotas being implemented. And the other thing that they talk about a lot, which has not happened yet, but will, is they talk about mandating the minimum investment, which currently is discretionary. It's a substantial investment in a non-marginal business, which is subject to interpretation. But as soon as they mandate a number, you're in trouble. And you don't want that to happen. Additionally, the kids may age out. Kids age out of the E2 at 21 years old. Don't worry, we'll figure out a strategy that will ensure that they will stay in the US. So we can be your get out of jail free card. So why? It's about so much more than answering questions. It's an opportunity to start working on a roadmap to achieve your American dream without pain and with confidence. And that's the link, by the way. Investing, I think they're probably putting it in the chat, investingcrossborders.net/consult. Because it's the easiest way to evaluate your options without having to buy a business, invest in bad options, or pack your bags. And because it's an opportunity to explore options that apply to your situation in a private setting to save time and money without chasing dead ends. So let's recap. And why us? We're so much more than an immigration firm. We are truly your partner in this process, guiding you and staying by your side every step of the way on the journey to your American dream. And this is, I give credit to Mary for this quote. Invest with confidence, invest towards your US visa, and invest to achieve your American dream. Let's recap. The allure of America, 5 key reasons to invest and immigrate to the US, other than, of course, having the chance to work with our amazing team. Freedom of choice, minimal restrictions, vast array of opportunities. You can choose your lifestyle and your location, and have a lifestyle of, a laptop lifestyle if you so choose, but you can have a lifestyle by design where your business or your job doesn't control you. You are in control. Open investment options. You can invest anywhere in all kinds of opportunities, all kinds of types of real estate and businesses. This nation is renowned for its entrepreneurial spirit and open market. That's a little different than the one to the north, because unfortunately, a lot of entrepreneurs are quashed in their dreams, and really and truly, this is the land of opportunity. The US offers a high standard of living with access to exceptional healthcare. I promise you, it's really exceptional healthcare. And we do have accessible options that are affordable. And at the end of the day, they're going to make a difference. I mean, I only pay, I think, $300 a month for my healthcare. So for families contemplating immigration, these are important aspects to consider. Business and career opportunities. The US is home to some of the world's most prosperous companies and thriving industries, as we all know. For those with ambition and drive, the US offers a platform for talent, where talent and hard work can lead to significant success. And again, back to our entrepreneurial opportunities. If you're passionate about exploring your entrepreneurial spirit as a real estate investor, as a business investor, as a business owner, the US is the place to do it. And yes, you can get a visa in the process. So act now to take advantage of all of these amazing benefits and to work with us and find out what that looks like. We would love to see you at the Q&A call on Tuesday. And that's it. So, wow, that was perfect timing. It's 1:31. I think I started at 1:20. Wait a minute, 12:36, right?
Yeah, an
Maybe
hour.
should I stop sharing this? Yes.
Yeah, we do have a few questions if you want to answer them. Well, somebody asked, can you explain the signature course a little bit better?
Why don't you do that, Mary?
Sure. So we have a course that actually Lauren is the one who actually presents all of the information, and he talks about types of visas. He talks about what the process looks like. It talks about everything that you need to know. I mean, we kind of glance over the alphabet soup of visas, just to give you an example. And that module in the course is about what, 20 minutes, 25 minutes, where Lauren goes into detail into all of those little details about the visas. What's an E2, what's an E1, what's the difference between what you need, the requirements, all of the stuff that you really want to know. I mean, you don't necessarily need to know all the information when you're preparing your visa, but if you want to know those little things, it's, you know, it could be important. Some of the things that are important in that course are, for example, requirements. Like Lauren just said, what does it mean a non, you know, like the lingo that USCIS kind of talks about? How much is enough for you to really qualify for a visa? What are some of the options that you have? So all of the details that you really want to know are in that course, as best as possible. I mean, it's like almost 3 hours long, 4 hours long. You know, I've gone through it in maybe a day, but it really gives you kind of like an overview of what you could be expecting when it comes to that. And, you know, we have, you know, our page with that course is 497, sometimes, yeah, 597, depending on how, you know, things are going. But right now you're going to be getting it with the consultation and with the Q&A. So it's a great bonus to be able to get that. Did I miss anything else that you want me to say about the course?
No, I think that's great. Thank you.
Okay.
So I see a bunch of questions here, and I also, my dog is like, I don't know, he wants to get out of where he is. So if you hear scratching, that's him. Yep, he's doing it again. Let me just see.
You want me to read them to you, Lauren?
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, is it possible to work for an employer on an E2 visa while doing real estate investing? I also continue to work on my IT job. Is that possible?
Is that in Canada or the US? Because with a visa, you are limited, the visa holder is limited to working for the actual applicant company, okay? But the spouse can work for anybody. So if you have a spouse, we may choose for the spouse to be the applicant, like we are doing with Rodrigo and Luciana, so that Luciana can access a potential employment opportunity. So that's a choice that we'll make at the time. If you are not married, you can continue to work for your Canadian-based employer, but you cannot work for a US employer with a visa. You have one visa at a time, and that visa is tied to the company that sponsors you.
Okay, great. Can you talk a little bit about the transition from a traditional law firm business, being a lawyer, and creating investing across borders?
You mean my journey?
I think people want to know.
Wow. Well, I never really ran a traditional law firm. I kind of was, I always worked in-house, and meaning I worked in a company, and so I moved to Florida from Toronto, and I wasn't able to get my Florida bar. So I'm licensed in another state, which is not relevant for the purposes of immigration and most of what we do. But I wasn't able to sit for the Florida bar, and so I needed to find a solution. And my immigration lawyer asked me to write a business plan for an immigration case, and I did it, and I loved it, and I just kept doing it, and it built into a business that was full service, because I couldn't really help myself but to help people beyond just the business plan. So I don't know if that answers your question, but I never really ran a full service law firm, or even I never practiced law in the purest sense in a firm. I only did for 2 years in Toronto before I came here.
All right. We have another question, and it really talks about, you know, that they live, they're snowbirds, and they're wondering if they live here year round, if it is even possible, and to keep receiving pensions and other benefits that they have in Canada while living permanently in the US.
Absolutely, yes. You can access a visa. They're not going to take away your benefits in Canada. You know, one thing has nothing to do with the other. I still have my RSP and all of that stuff. It's intact. You can continue to contribute to it, but if you guys are snowbirds already, you're probably not contributing. The only way to though invest passively is with an EB-5, so you would have to be actively running a business. I hope that answers that.
Yeah, great. Okay. Could they get a general idea of the legal fees that they could expect to set up appropriately for their business model to do SREI?
Okay, SREI. So SREI, the combined fee for the company for the investment in strategic REI and investing cross borders, it is on paper 120,000. It's 80,000 for strategic REI and 40,000 or 39,000 for investing cross borders. When we combine the two, we take off a $5,000 credit. And if you act the day of your consultation, we take an additional small amount off. So you're looking at a combined 115,000, of which 30,000 goes into a holding account because Carolyn and I are that committed to your successful visa. And we don't get that 30,000 unless and until you get the visa. So we are as invested in your 100% success rate as you are.
Yeah. So I think following up to that, for Canadians, is it more for Canadians or is it a boutique service based on individual needs?
No, it's not just for Canadians, it's for anybody. We just happen to have a special focus on Canadians because I am Canadian. Additionally, I noticed a question, do you need a US visa for real estate investment and scaling your portfolio? And no, you don't need a visa. However, in the past little while, actually about 2 months ago, we started seeing a slew of referrals coming from our partners that were basically saying, oh, we had trouble at the border. There's a guy who had a real estate investing business for 9 years in New York State, and he was denied entry just last month because he doesn't have a visa. And it's going to catch up with you. It's a numbers game at the end of the day.
Yeah. One last question, and this is from our clients, so we can answer this privately, but they're talking about with a holding entity there, if it's already formed, the down payment for the first property is still 30%, and you can just say,
yeah, it's not. So the structure doesn't have anything to do with your down payment requirement. The down payment requirement is based on your financing partner, and most of them require a 30% down payment for Canadians investing in U.S. real estate. Not all, and it just depends on what you're investing in. So, you know, if it's commercial, it's going to be different, and if depending on the state. So there's lots of options, but generally speaking, as a rule, it's 25 to 30% as a down payment.
Great. I think that's it, Lauren. I know we went a little bit over, but I think, you know, it's worth noting that there's going to be more questions that are going to pop into your brains now that, you know, you've attended the masterclass. We get this all the time. So you can always email us, you know, if you have any questions, but it's best really to just schedule the consult. You have until Tuesday to do that. You don't have to schedule the consult from now until Tuesday. It just has to be on the calendar. So you just have to, there's probably not going to be any room until next week because the holiday of Yom Kippur is coming up and we're approaching the weekend. So just know that if you get your spot, you can schedule a call between today and Tuesday, and it doesn't have to take place in the meantime. And then it's best that it's after, because then you'll have the Q&A with Lauren on Tuesday, the 26th, and we'll be able to answer your questions. It will be, I think, at 12:30, correct, Lauren?
I think so.
So make sure that, thank you, Rod. Thank you, everybody who's saying it's a great presentation. Good job, Lauren. I think this was a different format, but a new information. So every time we do this is new information, but really we can't do this for you. You need to go out there and you just need to take one little step. What's the one step that you can take right now to live the life that you want right now? And simple, it's just going on to the link that we've dropped on the chat, scheduling a call, knowing that you're going to have a Q&A on Tuesday for anything else that might come up. And really, we're here to help. So just take that, to heart, because just like you, a lot of us here on the team are immigrants, and, we're here to help you make your American dream a reality. So just take that little step, and every single step that you take with us, with me, with Lauren, with Carolyn, is going to be getting you closer to that goal. So we're here to help. Okay, guys. And yes, the recording will be available as soon as we can. Raymond is recording it so that he can, to share with your spouse. Sure, Angie, don't worry. We'll set that up and we'll send it to you as soon as we have it ready between today and tomorrow. Okay.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Carolyn. Thank you, Mary. Thanks, team. And I hope everybody found this as exciting and fun as we did. And we'll look forward to seeing you on Tuesday at the Q&A session. Have a good weekend, everybody. And if you celebrate, have an easy fast. Bye for now.
Thank you.